Hello. Welcome. Please come play Horrified with me. Let's sit at the table and look at the game's contents. We feel it would be unkind to present this game without just a word of friendly warning. You're about to unfold one of the strangest tales ever told. We think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now's your chance. Well, we warned you. Hey guys, welcome to Horrified. This game is a multiplayer game. It's a 1 to 5 player, ages 10 and up, where you fight the Universal monsters. The Invisible Man, Frankenstein and the Bride, Dracula, the Wolfman, the Mummy, and the creature from the Black Lagoon. There's different modes to this. There's easy mode where you take on 2 monsters. There's medium mode where you take on 3, and then there's hard where you take on 4. I think today I'm going to do a solo playthrough with only 3 monsters. It also comes with heroes. You have the inspector, scientist, explorer, archaeologist, mayor, professor, and not for solo mode but for multiplayer mode you'd have the courier. So let's find out who I'll be playing first. We're going to shuffle these up and pick 3 random cards here. Keep on shuffling. Which one? This one? Huh? This? This one? This one you say? You want this one? Alright. Keep shuffling. How about this one? That one? Okay. And this one? Okay, cool. Let's see what we're going to play. We will be going up against the Invisible Man, the Wolfman, which I have not played yet, and Frankenstein and the Bride. Right here you'll notice these little numbers here with a fire. That's the frenzy number. We're going to go to lowest to highest. So Frankenstein and the Bride being the lowest, Wolfman being the next. Make sure they're on screen, and then the Invisible Man being last. Pull out the monsters here. Little miniatures. There's the Bride, Frankenstein. Oh, look at the massive detail. Frankenstein. There's Dracula. Dracula's trying to come out. Alright, we got the Mummy. And the Invisible Man, who's a real pain, as you'll probably see in this game. I think the Invisible Man's probably one of the toughest monsters to go up against. Now let's see what hero we're going to be. We're going to shuffle these up real good. You just let me know. Y'all win. Huh? Right there? This one? Okay, we'll do this. Alright, looks like I'm going to be the archaeologist. He'll have 4 actions. His special action is pick up items from an adjacent space. His starting location will be the docks. I'll explain that all in a second here. Here's the frenzy marker. There goes the frenzy marker. Here's the frenzy marker that's going to go on Frankenstein and the Bride there. We got the Bride of Frankenstein token. We're going to switch that over. That will go on her dial on the number 0. And I'll explain all these to you. Mr. Frank, his dial will also go on 0. We have the terror marker. That will be starting on number 3. If the terror marker gets to number 7, I lose the game. I'll show you these real quick. You can pause the film if you need to. Here's the hero phase. And there's the monster phase. Try to get my, let's try this. There we go. We'll have a monster deck. Give that a shuffle. Every monster turn, the monster will pull from this deck and will resolve the card from top to bottom. And this is the villager deck, but it's a perk deck. When we rescue a villager, we'll be able to draw a card off this. We're going to begin the game with one card from that. So I'm going to draw the top card here. There is going to be a couple that I'll have to move because they're not actually for solo play, and I didn't pull them out already, so when they do come up, I'll let you know. But this is a taxi ride. Place a hero in any non-water space. Play during the hero phase. That's going to go with my archaeologist. And we'll set the perk deck right there. And we were going to set up the game here, and I'll explain it. Let me pull my marker out first. This here is a map of a village. Let's call it Sinikerville. We got the cave, got the camp, precinct, inn, barn, a dungeon, tower, theater, mansion, abbey, crypt, museum, church, hospital, shop, laboratory, graveyard, and the institute. These three spaces are water spaces that are only used by the creature. It's the lagoon, the river, and the waterfront. Since I'm not going against the creature in this game, we won't be using those spaces. Heroes cannot go on water spaces. Obviously, when you move, you're going to move from lit space to lit space throughout the map. And I'll explain more to you in a second. But first, let's set up these characters. You're going to notice as time goes on, we're going to have a bunch of villagers. I believe there's 10 villager tokens in this. Here's a handful of the villagers. They may be making an appearance throughout the game. We're going to set them off to the side here for right now. When I need them, then they'll come in. Here's the hero tokens. I only need the archaeologist because I'm playing a solo game. So we'll put him out. You'll have some dice in this game. The dice are, you got 3 dice. You got a blank side. We got the hit side for the monsters. That means they will hit on their attack. And we have the exclamation mark, which is their special ability. Let's proceed with the player setup here, the monster setup. I'll refer to the back of this sheet for each of them. Frankenstein the Bride. Place Frankenstein on the board at the graveyard. Here's Frankenstein's character. There is the graveyard. Next, place the bride on the board at the dungeon. So there's the bride. She'll start over there. Place the Frankenstein dial with the yellow indicator face up on the left side of the monster map, which I did there. That's Frankenstein's dial. Place the bride dial with the blue indicator face up on the right side of the monster map. That's right there. Adjust both dials so the indicators point to 0, which they both do. Next we'll go with the Wolfman. Place the laboratory overlay on the board so it aligns with the laboratory location. I have to find the laboratory here. There it is. We'll place that over the laboratory. Alright. Place the Wolfman on the board at the mansion. Of course I grabbed the mummy. Why did I do that? I was supposed to have the Wolfman. There's the Wolfman. He comes out, and there's the mansion. I guess he's hanging out there for the day. Alright, place the cure on the flask on the right side of the monster mat. Right here's the cure. It goes to the right side underneath this little diagram there. Then place the hunted emblem next to the board. There is the hunted emblem. We're going to place it next to the board. We'll put it right down here because it's going to being a solo player, it's going to be placed on my character. Alright, now we're on the Invisible Man. Place the precinct overlay on the board so it aligns with the precinct location. Here is the precinct. Then place the invisible man on the board at the inn. So he's at the tavern having a drink at the inn. And that is the monster setup. Now what we got to do is, in order to advance and take out each one of these monsters as we go through the game. Well, actually, you know what? I'm going to put the archaeologist on the docks. My character will start over here on the docks. But the objective of the game is to try to take out these monsters. I have to take out all 3 of them. And in order to do that, I have to do the first task, which is the advance number 1 on each one of these. And each one has a different thing. For example, Frankenstein and the Bride. I have to teach the monsters. That's the advance 1. In Frankenstein space, use yellow items, which are in the bag here. In this game, you're going to have 3 different types of items. Let's go over that real quick. You got yellow items, you got blue items, and you got red items. I will need to use these items in order to take out and advance the levels and get the tasks done in order to take out the monsters too. I'll be using these items. These items are first going to come 12 on the board. So let's place those real quick. We'll pull 12 items out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These are random out of a black bag. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Each item has a number up at the top, and then it has what it is. This one is a cosmic ray diffuser, and it tells you where to place the item. The number at the top, what the name of the item is, and where to place it. So I'll go and I'll place all these items on the village. This is a kite. It's at the tower. This is a dart. That is, of course, at the inn. This is a treasure, a rapier, which is at the theater. It's not really a treasure, just as a rapier. It looks like a treasure. Here's a pistol. We'll find that at the precinct. Here's a fire poker, which is another one. We're going to place that right on top of each other, and that's at the mansion. We got garlic. That's going to be at the inn. Institute. What? Rotenone? I'm not familiar with that. Not a very sciencey guy. Garlic. Another piece of garlic will be found at the inn. And we got monocaine mixture. That surprisingly is at an inn. A drink, perhaps. Anatomy text is found at the Institute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, 12 items. As you can see, they're just randomly placed on the board. The inn has the most. The Institute is with 2, mansions with 2, towers with 2, and theaters with 1. I'm going to use these items to advance and to take out the monsters. Now let's go back to what I was explaining with the monsters. Each monster has a task that you must complete. I'm going to read each one of these. Frankenstein and the Bride. I have to teach the monsters. In Frankenstein space, use yellow items, or in the Bride space, use blue items. Increase the monster's humanity by the item's strength. Strength being that number that I explained that's at the top of each item. And move the monster that many spaces. So with Frankenstein and the Bride, I'm going to have to be in their space. I will get rid of one of these items, discard one, and turn their dial however the strength of the item is. And at the same time, when it reaches up to, looks like it goes all the way up to 8. Once I move them both up to 8, then they become human. After that, or they realize they're human, let's just put it that way. They don't really become human, but they realize they're human. After that, then I'll move on to the step 2 in order to defeat. When the monsters meet, if both dials show the monsters' faces, which is on the other side, they are defeated. Otherwise, increase the terror level, which is over here. Place Frankenstein at the graveyard, and then place the Bride at the dungeon. So they'll meet each other, and they'll separate. My terror level will go up. When my terror level goes up to 7, I am out of the game. Now, every once in a while, I'm going to be pulling a card and it might show the Frenzy logo. And then when it does show that, only Frankenstein out of these two will be the frenzy character. And when that happens, Frankenstein and the bride must be educated so they can live peacefully. His exclamation mark, which we'll go over when we go to attack, but his says, "Here comes the bride." Move the bride one space toward Frankenstein. Let's move on to the Wolfman. The Wolfman is tormented by his form. Develop an antidote and administer it to him. When he's in the same square as you and he's attacking, he has a vicious bite. Every person in the Wolfman space is hit. Let's see what his task is. Advance 1. Discover the cure. At the laboratory space, which is right here, place blue items on the spot below that matches the item's strength. If all spots below are filled, take the cure. So, I'll have to use these blue items I can pick up around the map. There's none here at the laboratory. I'll bring them to the laboratory, and while I'm here in the laboratory space, I'll place one of those blue items, 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, on these pieces. Once I get this all filled up, I can grab the cure. Once I have the cure, I can proceed to try to take the Wolfman out wherever he is on the board. These monsters are going to move. I'm going to move. Everything's going to move around except the items. Then I have to cure the Wolfman. In the Wolfman space, I use the cure and spend 6 red items to defeat him. So again, we go back to the numbers here at the top. This one's 3. I'll have to use 6 items that I have in order to defeat the Wolfman. Let's move on to the Invisible Man. The Invisible Man has gone mad. Collect proof of his misdeeds so you can catch him. His exclamation mark when he is in the same square as you and he's attacking. Stalk unseen. Move the Invisible Man 2 spaces towards the closest villager. Also, villagers will pop up, like I was explaining earlier, as the game proceeds. And there goes all these cards as they slip around. Alright, his first task is I have to supply evidence. At the precinct's place, let's redo this. At the precinct, place yellow or red or blue items on a spot below that matches the item's location. So, I have to get an item from the inn, I have to get an item from the barn, I have to get an item from the mansion, I have to get an item from the laboratory, and I have to get an item from the institute. I have to bring those items to here. And remember, you'll know because they're actually labeled here at the bottom. This one says in. And it's not in focus. There it goes. This one says institute. And as you can see, I have no items yet on the map for laboratory or the barn. So I have to wait for those items to appear as we go through this bag and then grab them, bring them to the precinct, place them there as evidence so that they finally can trap the Invisible Man, which is part 2 of his thing. In the Invisible Man space, I use 9 red items to defeat him. So I have to spend 9 of my items. They have to equal 9 in order to defeat him. Now, items. When you move into a space, you can collect as an action all the items in that space. Items will be used later on when a monster comes into the same space as you. Because when they attack and they hit you, you can actually spend these items. If you get hit with those BAMs, you can actually spend the items that are in your hand instead of losing health. If you don't have no items to spend or you don't want to spend items. If your hero only takes 1 hit and then they're knocked out, they go off the map, the terror level will go up 1, and on the next following turn they'll come out at the hospital, which is right here. I might lay him down just so you can see him better. Okay, let's go over the phase here. Hero phase, actions. My hero has 4 actions. One of his special actions is I can pick up items from an adjacent space. He's being at the docks. The only adjacent space I have at this point is the tower. So as an action, I can pick up both of these items and then continue my movement. All of the actions are as follows. Move to an adjacent space, taking any number of villagers with you. Right now we have no villagers on the map. Guide, one villager to or from an adjacent space. For example, let's say that villager's here and my character's here. I'll lay them both down so you can see. This villager is adjacent to my village, for my hero. I can guide him to or from an adjacent space. So I can have him move away or come to an adjacent space. I can bring him towards me or I can have him move away. That's what guide is. The next thing is to pick up any number of items in your space. Share is another action. Share items between heroes in your space, which I won't be doing because I'm the only hero being a solo player. Advance a task by using an item at the specified location. For instance, when I'm at the precinct or the laboratory, or I'm either on the same space with Frankenstein or the bride, I can use some of my items. That will advance a task. Or I can defeat a monster by using items in that monster's space. Or I can use a special action as noted on your hero's badge. Any player may play any number of perk cards. This perk card is, I start with 1, and remember as I help villagers get around the table, I can gain more perk cards. And I'll explain that when a villager comes out. So, first turn. I have 4 actions. For my first action, I'm going to use my special action again to pick up the items in an adjacent space. So that will mean I'm here, this is adjacent, I'm going to pick up these items at the tower. That's action 1. My second thing I'm going to do, this is a perk. It doesn't cost me an action to play this. I'm going to play this taxi ride. Place a hero in a non-water space. So placing, I don't move. I actually just place them at a different space. This gets discarded. Once I'm there, my second action is going to be to use my special action again and pick up items from an adjacent space. I'm going to steal all these inn items right there from the inn, which is an adjacent space. This is adjacent. All these spaces are adjacent to him. That's my second action. Third action is to run to the precinct. And my fourth action will be to place one item from the inn, the garlic, onto the inn space of the invisible man. Reason being is because the invisible man is known to move around the map and steal items fairly quickly. And because of that, I don't know what this first turn of the monster deck is going to be, but I know there's some, by playing previous games, that the invisible man will end up stealing items, which hopefully won't happen right away. Hopefully it happens later on, but let's find out. Now that's my turn. I've done my 4 actions. It's now the monster's turn. And the monster, let me explain these cards. First thing, the first number up here at the top is how many items get drawn and placed on the board. So that number was 2. I'll pull 2 items from the bag. 1, 2. I look at them. This is one that goes to the shop. The other one is another rapier that goes to the theater. The next thing is this piece right here, and it's called the meeting. I move the bride 2 spaces toward Frankenstein. She's up here at the dungeon. Here's Frankie. 1, 2. She's now in the theater, heading down to meet her love. These little symbols here, we go from left to right. This symbol is for the creature from the Black Lagoon, which we're not playing with. This symbol right here is the Wolfman. We will first move the Wolfman 2 spaces. Then after that, if he's in the same space with either a hero or a villager, he will roll 1 die, 1 attack die. Wolfman is right here. He moves 2. 1, 2, heading towards the closest hero or villager. If there is a tie between the hero and the villager, if I had a villager within 2 spaces right here, let's say I had a villager here, he will always go towards the hero first. Now if I have a hero and villager against another villager, you can choose as the player which way he's going to go, which usually you want him to go towards the hero because you can use these items to avoid an attack. So he moved 2, 1, 2. Now he's not close enough to attack me, he's still not adjacent. He has to be in the same space as me. So we move back on, down to the Invisible Man. Invisible Man will move 2. He moves from the inn here to here. He is now in the same space. He will make an attack. He rolls 1 die. With that 1 die, he gets, an exclamation mark. That means right here, it says stalk unseen. Move the Invisible Man 2 spaces towards the closest villager. There are no villagers out on the map yet. Because of that, the Invisible Man will stay right there. Now, if I had rolled this dice and it had been a bam, I would either have to choose to give up one of my items I have here, which I'll put them in the view for you. And I can choose whatever item it be. And I would give that up and avoid that hit. Or I could choose to take the hit, move my horror up 1 on the threat level, and my following turn I'd have to start off in the hospital. So that is the monster phase. Items. Draw items from the bag and place them on the board. The event. Resolve the event unless the monster isn't in the game. Monster strike. Monsters move and attack according to the symbols. Here's your different symbols. Now we will move back on to my turn. Alright, we're at the precinct. We have the Invisible Man with us, which we're not too afraid because the only time a monster will attack is if it's revealed on that card. Like the Invisible Man did last turn. Let's see. We've already got the inn. We need to get a piece of evidence from the barn, from the mansion, from the laboratory, or from the institute. So we'd have to get all the way down here. We have tower and inn items so far. I'm going to, though, for my first action, I'm going to pick up this pistol. We'll add that to our batch of items. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm going to move to where the Wolfman is. Number 3, I'm going to move to the theater. And the reason for that is because I want to teach the monsters. I have to use blue items and increase the monster's humanity by the item's strength. So I have 2 3s and 1 1. I am going to use this item from the inn. It has a strength of 3. I'll discard that. I gotta have a discard pile for these, which I'm going to put over here, off to the side. I will increase her dial here to 1, 2, 3. After that, I can move the monster that many spaces, which I want to do because I don't want to be sitting here on the monster's turn in the same space as her. So let's move her 1, 2 back to the dungeon. That is my 4 actions, and now we move on to the monster's turn. Oh boy. Okay. 2 items here at the top. We're going to place 2 items first. Out of the bag, we get 1, 2. We have the camp. It's a wolf's bane. It's at the camp. And we have a bear trap that is here at the shop. Next, the event is the meeting. Place the bride 2 spaces towards Frankenstein. Well, she was here. I'm kind of glad I moved her. So now she's going to go 1, 2. And once again, we start here. We have no creature in this game. The Wolfman. He will move 2. 1, 2. And he's our 1, and he's right there with me on my spot. He will attack with 1 die. Let's see what happens. Wolfman is attacking my hero. He gets an exclamation mark. His says vicious bite. Every person in the Wolfman's space is hit. So I am hit. It's the same thing as an attack. I am going to choose to give up this item from the inn and to avoid that attack. Next, we move on down the level to the Invisible Man. He will move 2. 1, 2. He is also with me. We got a whole bunch of monsters at the theater with me. He also will throw 1 die for an attack. See what happens. Bam, he hits me. I'll discard this. Now I have to get rid of another item. And I will get rid of this kite from the tower. Being that it's only a 1, it ain't going to do too much with the stuff I'm trying to do right now, at least. Well, Wolfman, I need that, but we'll get down to the Institute, hopefully. I'm trying to cover all these monsters all at the same time and weaken them a little bit and try to get closer to at least finishing off 1. I definitely want to try the Invisible Man first. So, that would have concluded the monster's turn. And they are all sitting there with me at the theater. My first action will be to collect these items that are at the theater, because those couple of hits there hurt me and took some of my items away. The second thing, since I'm right there with the Bride of Frankenstein, might as well use another blue item. It's a power of 3. And we'll turn her dial 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Brings her up to 6. 2 more, and she'll realize that she's human, and I'll have half that puzzle solved. That was 2 actions. Oh, and I get to move her. 3. Well, we're only going to move her 2, so I can't move her all the way. Actually, no, I could move her all the way. I just don't want her going towards Frankenstein. So 1, 2, 3. We'll move her over to the camp. That's 2 actions. Third action will be to move here. Fourth action will be to move here at the shop, because I want to try to collect those other items. So that concludes the player's turn. Wolfman's here. So is the Invisible Man at the theater. Now we will reveal the monster's turn. We have a number 2 here. We're going to place 2 items on the board randomly. We sure could use some items at the barn. We got 1 for the tower. And we got a knife at the docks. And here's the card I was talking about. Thief. Place the Invisible Man at the location with the most items. Then discard all the items there. This stinker goes to the same location that has the most items. So, we have 2 at the Institute, we have 2 at the shop, and we have 2 at the mansion. I get to choose. Well, I really don't want the Invisible Man in the same space as me, but I want to be able to get the mansion items, the Institute items too, unfortunately. So, because I need an item from the mansion in order to continue on with the Invisible Man, I'm trying to get rid of this guy first. Of course, by the time I get rid of him, all these Thieves cards will probably be used up, and I won't have to worry about it. So I'm going to place him, I'll place him at the shop with me. I'll take a chance. I don't see his symbol down here, so I don't have to worry about him attacking me. So he will go here at the shop. He's going to steal both of these items from underneath us. Those will go in the discard pile. Now we will continue on with the monster turn. The mummy, which he's not in this game. The creature, he's not in this game either. And Frankenstein, that's Frankenstein's symbol. He's going to move 1. Moves to the church. He's not in the same space with me, or else he'd be rolling 3 dice for an attack. Luckily, he's not in the same space. Now we will move back to the player turn. Oh, let's see here. I got an idea. For my first action, I will move here to the laboratory. I will use my special action to pick up items from an adjacent space. I'm going to pick up both these items from the Institute. That's number 2. Number 3, I will place blue items on the spot matching the item's strength. If all the spots are filled, take the cure. So, I am going to use my third action to place a number 1 strength item on this first part of the Wolfman's cure. That's my third action. Let's make sure. 1, 2, yep, 3. And then my fourth action is to place another item, the number 3 item on the 3 spot. So now in order to complete the Wolfman's task, I need one more, I need two items and one more 3 and one more 1 item at the laboratory in order to get the cure and defeat the Wolfman. All right, that's my 4 turns. It's now back to the monster turn. We will be placing 3 items. Come on, barn. Need some items here. 1 at the church. 2 at the docks. And the 3rd item will be at the docks. So the docks is filling up with a bunch of items. The next thing, we got a first villager coming out. Ichthyologist, whatever that is. It says place Dr. Reed at the Institute. So this is our first villager card event, and we will find Dr. Reed in the villagers. Here's Dr. Reed, and he will be placed at the Institute. Now, the villagers, if you'll notice, there is up at the very top, that is the location where he is trying to get to. I have to try to lead him there safely. Or if he gets taken out, remember my terror level will go up. So we're going to place him at the Institute down here, and he needs to get to the camp. In order to do that, I need to have him in the same space with me, and we need to slowly move our way to the camp. Once I get him to the camp, he will come off the board and I'll be able to get a perk card. But right now he's at the Institute. Let's move on to the rest of the monster card. The creature, which we don't have. And this here, the fire token, is the frenzy token. And if you remember, Frankenstein is our frenzy character so far. So Frankenstein will move 1 and he'll attack with 2 dice. He's going to move, well, since I'm here, the hero, and then the villager that's now out on the board is over here, he's going to move 1 towards the hero, and there's nobody in the same spot with him, so he doesn't attack. Back to the player's turn. 4 actions. My first action will be the guide action. I am going to guide 1 villager to or from an adjacent space. Hey, Dr. Reed, get up here. Get with me. Let's hang out and so I can get you to the camp safely. I'll guide him to me. That's 1 action. 2 will be to move to the shop where the invisible man's at. 3 will be to move here where Frankie's at. And 4th will be to move to the mansion. The villager follows along with you and moves along with you. All right, it is now the monster's turn. And we get 3 items that go on the board. We have the graveyard. There's a shovel. We have the camp. There's more wolfsbane up there. And we have another laboratory, centrifuge. That goes to the laboratory. All right, it looks like we got a gray card, a gray event, which usually means a villager. Another one, a former employer. Place Dr. Cranley at the laboratory. Let's find Dr. Cranley. Here he is. Dr. Cranley needs to get to the precinct, but right now, he's in a bad place. He's in the laboratory. Look who is right there by him is the Invisible Man. Oh, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. First monster to activate is the Invisible Man. He moves 1 towards the closest hero or villager. Well, hero's here. I'm 1, 2 away. The villager is only 1 away. He will move 1 towards the villager, and now he will roll 2 dice for an attack. Here's hoping for blanks. We do not want bams. We get 2 bams. Poor Dr. Cranley just came out, and he is eliminated. Terror goes up to level 4. moving on to the rest of the monster phase, we have the Frenzy. Right now the Frenzy token is still on Frankenstein. He moves 1. Oh, look at this. He's right there. He sees me. Goes into my spot. He, too, will be rolling 2 dice for an attack. Since I'm with the villager, he doesn't attack the villager. He attacks me. 2 bams. So I'm hit for 2 attacks. I have to get rid of 2 items, or I have to pretty much be taken out and the terror level will go back up. But I'm definitely going to get rid of 2 items. Let's get rid of a dart from the inn, which is a number 2, and a rapier from the theater. That will prevent that attack. This goes in the discard pile. It is now my turn again. On my turn, the first action, pick up these items, add them to my item bag. Since I'm in the same spot with Frankenstein, I could try to do his thing, but I need to have yellow items. I have no yellow items, I only got red. So I can't teach Frankenstein. So we'll continue to move. I'm going to go up here to the camp. We're going to go, that's my first action was picking up those. Second, third, I'm going to bring him to the camp. Once he gets to the camp is where he had to go. He goes away and I get a perk card. I get the card Rush. I can move a hero up to 4 spaces. Play during any hero phase. We'll place that right here by my items for right now. That was my 3rd turn. My 4th turn will be to pick these items up at the camp. I got 2 yellow items, so those are going to help when I need to help cure Frankenstein. And since I ended, that's my 4th turn, and I'm in the same spot as her, I'd rather not do that. I'd rather move away 4 spaces. So I'm going to use this perk card, which remember doesn't cost me an action. I discard it and I can move up to 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? I got some more. Oh no, that's not. Oh wait, I do. Let's head to this precinct here. 1, 2, 3, because I have some red items. I got an item from the mansion that I can show at the precinct and help get more of this evidence against the Invisible Man. Alright, that concludes my turn. It's now the monster's turn. This one says 0. This also shows the reincarnated soul, which is for the mummy. The mummy's not in this game, so we just ignore this event. We move on though to the monster area. The Wolfman is going to move 1. Here's the hero, moves there. Dracula, which is not in this game, so we'll skip that. But the Invisible Man is in this game, and we will act. Invisible Man moves 1 towards me. He's way down here at the laboratory, so he moves up to the shop. Neither one attacked because they're not in the same spot as me, so we ignore the attack dice right now. And it's back to the player turn. While I'm here at the mansion, or I'm sorry, I'm here at the precinct, I got evidence from the mansion that I want to place on the Invisible Man's card to increase that task. That will be 1 action. I have no other evidence that I can show right now. I have to get to the laboratory, institute, and the barn. I have to get evidence from each one of these. So that's my first action. My second action will be to move here. Third action will be to move there. And 4th action will be to end at the tower. I'm going to try to get over here and get some of these items all picked up here so I can use them. You know what? I'm going to change my mind. Let's come back here. I did my first action here because I just realized something you'll see. So my first action was putting the item here at the mansion. I'm going to keep that as my first action. Second action will be move here. Third action, oh no, that's not going to work either. Third action, and then the 4th action, I was going to try to give some evidence or help make Frankenstein human, but You know what though, I'm going to stay there. I'm going to stay there because my next turn I'll do that, but I have a feeling that he'll probably attack me this turn. So I'll probably lose some of these items, but oh well. I'm going to play it safe because I don't want these two meeting each other yet until I have them to where they're both human. If they do, my terror level is going to go up and they get separated again, they start all over. So I'm going to take my chance here. I wanted to get these items, but I think this is going to be a safer bet being over here, and let's find out if I made the right choice. It's the monster's turn. We're going to play 0 items. This is Sunrise. This is for Dracula. It's a red event. So we skip. I think I did a good thing here. So, first one will be the Invisible Man. He moves 1. Here I am, so he's going to move there. Second one is, as you can see, Frankenstein. He's already there, right there with me. So, he's going to roll 2 dice for an attack. Ooh, we get double exclamation marks. Let's see what that says. Alright, exclamation marks. Here comes the bride. Move the bride 1 space towards Frankenstein. Since I got 2, she goes 1, 2. They meet. What happens when they meet? If both dials show monsters' faces, they are defeated. Otherwise, increase the terror level. Place Frankenstein at the graveyard and place the bride at the dungeon. So they saw each other. They're not human yet. Our terror level goes from 4 to 5. They separate when we get one step closer to losing the game. But moving on to this card, we get the Frenzy token. That is on Frankenstein. He will move 1 again. So moves out of the graveyard to the church. And that will conclude the monster turn. Yeah, I tried to keep them separate, but him rolling double exclamation marks moved the bride closer and didn't help. I would have rather him rolled BAMs and hit me so I could use some of these items. Prevented that meetup, prevented my terror from going up. But, oh well, we still got at least, yeah, 1 more chance. And then after that, then it's going to be maxed terror. Alright, so moving on, player turn. Since they're both separated now, I might as well go and do what I had intended before. We're going to move 1 action, 2 actions, 3 actions, and 4 actions, and we're back at the tower. Alright, so that was simple. Now we're going to go to the monster phase. We're going to place 3 items. We need something at the barn here. Graveyard. Tower. And laboratory. Oh, I got a lot of Wolfman stuff down here. Uh-oh. It's a great card. That usually means a villager. Fortune teller. Place Maleva at the camp. So Maleva, the fortune teller, comes up here at the camp. I have to get her to the shop. She starts off right there. Move on to the monster thing. Oh my goodness, okay. First one's Wolfman. Well, I'm over here, I'm 2 away. Oh, here's a good example. 1, 2, I'm 2 away from the hero. 1, 2, 2 away from the villager. He's going to go towards the hero first. He moves 1. Now we got the frenzy counter. That's Frankenstein right now. He will move 1. So he moves over here and he's in the same space as Invisible Man. Neither one of them are in my space, so we don't have to worry about the attack dice. My turn. First action, I'm going to pick up these items. Second action, I'm going to use my special action to pick up items from an adjacent space. We'll clear the items from the dock here. I'm thinking we should probably... We need to head towards the laboratory. I'm trying to still focus on the Invisible Man and get him out of here. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. First action was to pick up that. Second action was to do my special action. Third action is move in here to the dungeon with the Bride of Frankenstein. I'm going to use this as my fourth action to turn her dial. 2 more. And she is now realizing that she is human. We'll discard that and we can move her up to 2, which I will. I'm going to move her down to the docks here. That was my 4 actions. So, I got half of this puzzle solved. I got to show a lot of these yellow items to Frankenstein, get him human, and then let them meet, and I can at least get rid of those two as a monster. But at the same time, I have to get over to this camp and try to save her, get her to the shop. Alright, moving on to the monster turn. 3 items. Oh boy, another villager is going to be coming out, I can tell. Mansion. Abbey. Come on, barn. Need a barn one. Institute. Alright, villager. The enthralled. Place Lucy at the theater. Of course. Right with the Wolfman. Luckily, we have Dracula, which is not in the game, and the Frenzy token, which is Frankenstein. He will move 2. He's going to move 1, 2, getting closer to not only the villager, but also me. And that is it. We got lucky. We need to go get Lucy right away. And it won't hurt to probably show Frankenstein a couple items here. So, first action, move to the tower. Second action, move to the theater. And at this point, I'm going to pick up Lucy with me. Third action will be to get here. And the fourth action, I'm going to show Frankenstein some Wolfsbane, which is a level 4, which means I can move his dial. Since I can show him a yellow item, I can move his dial for the strength of the item. 1, 2, 3, 4. I discard this, and now I can move Frankenstein 4 spaces away. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll put him over here in the Abbey. So we are both here. I'm 1 away from getting Lucy. Oh, Lucy, I'm sorry. I should probably show this. Lucy needs to get to the mansion, which is over here. But we're going to hold on to her. Hopefully they don't run away on me. It's now the monster's turn. We got 3 items that will be coming out. Man, the villagers are pouring out in this game. We got one at the church. Finally. One at the barn. Number 2 and number 3 will be at the Institute. Oh, villager. Hurried assistant. Place Fritz at the tower. Right. Fritz. Here he is. He's going to be placed at the tower, but he needs to try to get to the Institute. So he starts there. This is bad news. Frankenstein's the first one. He's going to move 1 towards me or the closest villager. Well, they're both me. I got a villager and it's me. Here's the sad news, folks. Bride of Frankenstein's moving 1. She's right here at the docks. She's going to come up here. Guess who's there? It's Fritz. He just came out. How many attack dice is she going to roll? 2. Let's see what happens. If we get a bam, let's see what happens. Of course, 1 bam, 1 blank. Fritz is KO'd. He's taken away. Our terror level just went up to 6. 1 more terror and the game's over. Now we look back here, we got the frenzied. That's Frankenstein again. He's going to move 1. 1, 2, 3 to me. 1, 2 towards the villager. 2, 3 for me. 2 to the villager. He's going to go towards the closest villager or hero. Since the villager is actually closer once he moves the mansion, he's going after Minerva. So that's that turn. Oh boy, this is not looking good. I can have as many villagers with me on my turn if I can get to their spaces. So let's try to do this. Let's go 1 action, 2 action to move here, 3 actions to move here, and my 4th action will be I'm going to show Frankenstein more Wolfsbane, which is a level 4 item. I get to turn his dial 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. That puts him at 8. And I can move him 4 spaces. Let's do that too. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put him back in the graveyard. So that was 1, 2, 3, and then showing him was 4. So that's my 4 actions. On to the monster turn. 2 items. We got one at the camp. And the other one is going to be at the camp. Event. Thief. Place the invisible man at the location with the most items. Discard all the items there. Here's the invisible man. We have 2 items at the camp. We have 2 items at the lab. We have 2 items at the institute, 2 items at the church, and 2 items at the graveyard. Let's send the invisible man, since there's no city space or village space with 3, I can choose. I'm going to send him to the graveyard. He will discard both those items. And he's going to hang out with Frankenstein there. Now we'll move on to the rest of the monster card. First one's Mummy. He's not in this game. Second one is the Creature. He's not in this game. Third one is Frankenstein. He moves 1. So we'll move into the church, heading up towards me. That is the monster's turn. Back to my turn. We got a lot of things we can do here. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to guide Lucy to the mansion. That's where she needs to go. She goes. So I got Lucy off the board. I get a perk card for that. This is a special delivery. It deals with one hero to another hero. Since I'm playing a solitaire game, that card is voided. Here's Taxi Ride. I place a hero in a non-water space. So I take that, place that in my inventory here. That was my first action, guiding her. Second action will be to, let's use my special action, pick up items from an adjacent space. I'll use that to pick up the museum item. Third action will be to guide. I'm going to guide Maliva from the camp to my space. And fourth action is to pick up items. I'm going to use my special action again and pick up items from an adjacent space. We'll pick up those. And, you know what? No, I'm going to stay right there. I'm not going to risk it. Alright, we'll move on to the monster phase. I got a whole bunch of items here. I need to try to get a few more. Alright, monster phase. It's a 0. We're not going to place any items. This is the reincarnated soul. It's for the mummy. Mummy's not in the game. Move down here. Wolfman is in the game. He will move 1. Move 1 closer to me. Next is Dracula. He's not in the game. Invisible Man is in the game. He's going to move 1 towards either the closest villager or the closest hero, and they're both in the same spot. So he moves up here to the church. No one's in the same space, so no attacks will be made. Back to me. I'm going to, no, I can't do that. I can't use this taxi ride because I have a villager with me. If I do a place action, which is what this is, I place a hero in any non-water space, I have to use move actions in order to take her with me. If I used a place action, because I really want to get to this barn and pick up this item and get back to the precinct, but if I used a place action, I'd have to go there and leave her there. I can't take her with me. I have to use move actions in order to take the villager with me. So let's try to get her to the shop. We're going to do 3 actions. We're going to go 1 action, 2 actions, 3 actions. She's there. At the shop, she goes away. I gain another perk card. Hunter becomes prey. Choose one. Place the Wolfman in any space or move any monster 3 spaces. That may be helpful. Play during the hero phase. I'm going to add that to my perk cards here. I still have 1 more action. Let's move to the laboratory because I have some other items here. I can try to find the cure for the Wolfman. Okay, that's my 4 actions. Let's move on to the monster phase. Place 3 items. 1 at the camp. 2 at the museum. Third item is at the museum. Uh-oh. Well, oh, this is really good. Okay. It's a villager card. It's called On the Move. Move the frenzy marker to the next monster. So it comes off Frankenstein, moves to the next highest number, which is the Wolfman. Move each villager one space towards their safe location. Now, if I had still had that villager with me, she would have actually walked away from my hero and moved to whatever space she needed to get to. But luckily, we got rid of her. We dropped her off at the shop the last turn, where there is no villagers on the map. If there were any villagers, they'd move one space closer to their destination that they need to get to. Frenzy is now on Wolfman. He will move 3. 1, 2, 3, moving towards the hero. Not quite enough movement to get to me this turn, luckily. Back to my hero phase. First action, I'm going to pick up the stuff at the laboratory, and I'm going to immediately use one of them at the laboratory. I'm going to put the camera as to help match the cure for the Wolfman. That'll be my first action. First action was actually picking them up. Second action was placing. Third action, I'm going to use a special action and pick up items from an adjacent space, which is going to be the Institute here. Pick those both up. I got another 1 and another 2. And my fourth action will be to place another blue item in the number 1 spot here at the laboratory in order to find the cure for the Wolfman. So now all I need is 2 blue items, and I'll finally find the cure to the Wolfman. I only have 1 blue item so far, so I still need to get 1 more number 2 blue item, or 2 strength blue item, and then I can attempt to take out the Wolfman. Alright. Let's see, do I want to use one of these cards? I think I do. I think I do. Boy, that's a number. Okay, well that's all right. I'm looking here at this invisible. I got more evidence I need to show here. Of course I used, I think, both of my laboratory ones. Yep, I did. I won't switch those. I could take this tower one and switch it for the blue item in the laboratory because I need a laboratory item for this. What the heck? Let's try it. Let's press our luck here. I'm going to use this taxi ride though and place a hero in any non-water space. Let's move you up to the barn here. You know what? The game's hard enough. I'm going to do this. That one that I placed that was a laboratory, I'm going to switch it for another, same thing, a blue, but I'm going to switch it for my tower one. So now I still have 1s, and I still am looking for 2 number 2s. The reason being is because I actually need this as evidence for the Invisible Man. And looking out, I have a hard enough time trying to get any more blues on the map. Alright, so with that little bit of help there, we'll see if I still can take out these monsters. Anyways, moving on to the monster phase. We'll put 3 items out. First one's at the Abbey. Getting low on the bag. Second one's at the barn. And the third one is at the barn. Wow, all of a sudden the barn ones come up. Once this bag gets empty, I'll take all my discarded items that have come throughout the game, put them all back in the bag and shuffle them up. Moving on. We got a villager. It's an insane survivor. Place Renfield at the docks. Renfield, where are you? Here's Renfield. He needs to get to the hospital, but he'll start off at the docks, which is only 1 space away from the Bride of Frankenstein. Uh-oh. Okay, well, we have the Dracula, which is not in this game, and we have the Frenzy marker, who is now the Wolfman, is a Frenzy. He gets to move 2. Right there's the villager, right there I am. 1, 2, 3 to me, and 1, 2, 3, 4 to the villager. So luckily he's going to go after me. He moves 2. 1, 2. And that is it for the monster turn. My turn. We really need to get Renfield. First thing I'm going to do is pick up these items. Second action. Third action. And fourth action. You know what? Nope. Okay, that was the first action picking up. Second action, I'm going to move to the theater. Third action, I'm going to move to the tower. I'm in the same space as the Bride of Frankenstein, but she's nice. She's a human. Let's hope she stays that way. I am going to guide Renfield to my space with me. That will be my fourth action. I am now going to choose this. I'm going to place the Wolfman in any space. Hunter becomes prey. Let's send the Wolfman all the way over here to the crypt. Should be far enough away from me. Now we'll move on to the monster's turn. Renfield again has to go to the hospital, which is way down over here. 2 items. First item goes to the tower, which is where we're at. Second item will go to the Institute, which is down there. The hunt is on. That is the Wolfman. If no hero has the hunted emblem, give it to the current player. Well, I'm a solo player. There's the hunted emblem. I now have that. I will place that on my card. Move the Wolfman 3 spaces towards the hero with the hunted emblem. I'm really glad I just moved him, because now he's coming after me. He's on the hunt. 1, 2, 3. First one is the creature. He's not on the game. Second one's Dracula. He's not in the game. Third one is the frenzy character, which is the Wolfman. He moves 1 more closer to me. Yeah, he would have been attacking me if I hadn't used that card that last turn. Player's turn. Let's get some evidence to that precinct. First action to the theater, second action here, third action to the precinct, and fourth action is to turn in some more evidence. I'm going to turn in the barn, the pitchfork from the barn, to show that the Invisible Man was at the barn. I only need evidence from the Institute and the laboratory, which I do have both of those. And I could then pursue the Invisible Man and try to take him out. But first, we have to see if we can survive the monster phase. We have 3 items. We go to the barn. We have another barn. Last item is at the church, as I drop them on all of them. Alright, we have a villager event. The delivery. Place Wilbur and Chick at the shop. Uh-oh. Wilbur and Chick come out at the shop. They're really, really close to both these monsters. Let's see what happens. First one is Frankenstein. He moves 1. Moves closer. Second one's Bride of Frankenstein. She moves 1. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. She will pursue me. 1 towards the hero. Third one is the Frenzy. That is on Wolfman. He's right there. He is going to move towards the precinct and attack with 3 dice. Big attack here. Luckily, I can protect Renfield. Ooh, we get 1 hit. So, I need to discard 1 item. Let's get rid of this little flower that I picked up at the docks. I don't think I need it that bad, so that goes in the discard. That saves me from losing the game for right now. Alright, my first turn. I'm going to present evidence from the Institute on the Invisible Man. That's my first action. Second action. Remember when I did that little movement here away from the Wolfman, I needed to use this. I had to take this piece back. But the reason being is because I've presented the last piece of evidence on the Invisible Man. I can now go after him to take him out. I have to be in the Invisible Man space to use 9 red items, 9 points of red items to defeat him. Invisible Man's down here at the church. So that was 2 actions to do that. Let's start heading down that way. Third action is to move here. Fourth action is to move there. boy, yeah, it just dawned on me. Old Wilbur there. Let's hope this, wow. Yeah, I didn't think about that, but I really couldn't get down there. I would have had a 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, just to even get there. I wouldn't have been able to present any evidence. Oh well, at least you've seen enough of the game if this monster turn goes bad. We're about to find out if I lost it. Maybe I made a wrong error. I maybe should have not presented any more evidence and got down here to help grab these villagers too, because Frankenstein's right there. Oh well, let's find out. First thing, 0. Second thing is retreat. That's from place the creature. He's not in the game. We ignore that event. Third thing is Wolfman. He will move 1. Wolfman moves to there. Second one is Bride of Frankenstein. She will move 1 towards me. She moves there. Third one, luckily, it's not Frankenstein. We end up getting a frenzy marker. That will be our Wolfman. He's going to move 1 in the same space as us. He's going to attack for 3 more. But the good thing is we have a whole bunch of items here we can give up. Okay, 2 hits and 1 exclamation mark. That exclamation mark, it means vicious bite. Every person in the Wolfman space is hit. I can take care of those 2 BAMs by giving up 2 items. I can't, and I can even give a BAM for this item for me, or an item for this one for me, for his wolf's bite, his vicious bite. Problem is, I can't give up an item for Renfield. Renfield is taken out by the Wolfman. Because of that, the terror level goes up. And that's the end of the game, folks. Man, we were really close. We had one of the 2 here. We had the Bride of Frankenstein. She was human. And we had enough items to even make Frankenstein human. And we just need a couple blue. We just need to get in the same space as him, use these blue items, make him human, have them meet each other. We only needed 2 more number 2s to Wolfman. He's probably the farthest along that I was. And Invisible Man, we just needed to get in his same spot, and I have plenty of items to make 9 points of damage to take out the Invisible Man. But man, Wolfman got vicious there with his bite, bit me and the villager that I was carrying along. And here I thought Frankenstein was going to be the one to take out Wilbur and Chick, but it didn't go that way. I lost that one, but at least you got to see the game. And this is a fun game for family. It's a real great solo game. It's fun to play. I'd recommend it. Solo play, like I said, is a lot like the standard play when you're playing with other people, except when you're playing with other people, you're going to start at 0. And you're going to use those extra cards, that 1 extra, the Courier, which is a hero, and you'll use those extra perk cards. I skipped one of them because that dealt with hero to hero, and I'm playing a solitaire game. Man, good game. Thanks for joining me. See ya.